We have been told that we have enormous holes to fill this transfer window by a Celtic expert, which has divided opinion across the fan base. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Speculation linking Celtic with a move for Liverpool's Stefan Bajcetic lit up social media this week, but there is no substance to the rumours currently doing the rounds. The excitement around the 20-year-old Spaniard was sparked by posts from English-based social media accounts, which quickly snowballed into full-blown transfer chatter, despite no credible reporting to support it. Some outlets picked up the story, but we deliberately held off, and now confirmation has emerged that no approach has been made. Football writer Mark Hendry has made it clear on his Substack that Celtic have not contacted Liverpool regarding Bajcetic, with no talks taking place at this stage. The midfielder, who broke through under Jurgen Klopp and was highly rated before injury setbacks, does fit the profile many Celtic fans are craving: young, composed, technically gifted, and versatile enough to operate in both defensive and central midfield roles. But as things stand, this appears to be a case of social media speculation running ahead of reality. Celtic's focus remains on bolstering wide areas and potentially adding cover at centre-back and on the wings, with no credible activity surrounding Bajcetic at this time. While the buzz was understandable given the player's pedigree and perceived fit for Rodgers' system, this one's firmly in the rumour bin, at least for now. Now for the main story. Chris Sutton has voiced his concerns over Celtic's quiet summer in the transfer market, warning that the club has yet to properly replace key figures Kyogo Furuhashi and Nicholas Kuhn. The former Celtic striker believes the lack of incoming business could give Rangers a boost ahead of the new season. Celtic banked £19 million from Kuhn's sale, a deal Sutton admits represents good value, but the Hoops legend feels the void left by the winger, and Kyogo is significant. Both played major roles in last season's domestic double, and Sutton fears their absence has not been addressed quickly enough. The Parkhead side head into their Champions League qualifiers with uncertainty over their attacking options. While Brendan Rodgers has acknowledged the need to reinforce up front, Sutton says the delay in doing so is worrying. He pointed out that Kyogo's replacement should have been secured as far back as January. Sutton also cautioned against complacency after years of dominance. He believes some supporters may take success for granted, but warned that standing still in the transfer market can have serious consequences when rivals are looking to close the gap. Sutton said this: "Well, look, Celtic at this moment in time, if you're a Rangers fan, you're quite encouraged by the lack of business Celtic have done. Nicholas Kuhn, interesting, £19 million, good money for him. I do think it's good money for him, but Charlie mentioned the Champions League qualifier coming up, and let's get it right, last season it wasn't a title race. Celtic had buried Rangers in the first half of the season, winning 16 out of the first 18, and the title race was over. But it's interesting, at the end of the season, Celtic still won a double, lost the cup to Aberdeen, and yet, because of their dominance in recent seasons, there's maybe a certain feeling of entitlement among some of the support. They feel that winning is just normal. That's dangerous. I do think in the cold light of day, Kyogo, I'll bang on about Kyogo loads, but they needed to replace him in January. Brendan spoke about that in January, the need to replace him. They didn't replace him then, and they still haven't replaced him now. Nicholas Kuhn's gone. You look at their goals and assists between the two of them last season, they're not big players in stature, but they leave enormous holes to fill, Sutton concluded. Celtic's dominance last season masked the fact that their squad depth had already begun to thin. Without fresh attacking firepower, Rodgers may find it more difficult to maintain that level of superiority across all competitions. The Champions League qualifiers loom large, and the absence of a proven goal threat could be a costly gamble. Kyogo's movement and finishing were vital to the team's attacking play, while Kuhn brought creativity and directness from wide areas. Losing both without swift replacements risks blunting Celtic's cutting edge. Rangers have strengthened, and while that does not guarantee a shift in the balance of power, it does mean Celtic can ill afford to be caught short. The transfer market clock is ticking, and patience among supporters will only stretch so far. In other news, James McFadden has questioned whether Brendan Rodgers will remain in charge at Celtic beyond his current contract. suggesting the manager's long-term future could hinge on transfer backing. Rodgers is currently in his second spell as Celtic boss, having returned in the summer of 2023. His reappointment came 4 years after he left midway through the 2018 to 2019 season for Leicester City, a departure that caused shockwaves across Scottish football at the time. Since his return, Celtic have continued to win silverware, but recruitment has been a constant talking point. This summer window has seen a number of signings arrive, yet questions remain over whether Rodgers has been fully supported in the market. McFadden believes that uncertainty over recruitment could be a decisive factor in whether Rodgers extends his stay, stressing that the club's backing or lack of it will play a major role in the manager's decision. He said this, "I am not sure. I think retransfers might play a part, why it's not been perfect in terms of recruitment from the summer. I think depending on whether he feels happy with the recruitment at the start of the season, I am not sure. I think because he left and the way he left the first time, maybe he has come back and thought he doesn't want to do that again, or maybe he appreciates where he is and what he can do. If he doesn't feel backed, then I can't see him staying any longer," McFadden concluded. Rodgers' first departure left many supporters feeling betrayed, but McFadden suggested the Irishman may now have a greater appreciation for the job and the expectations that come with it. That appreciation, however, might not be enough if he feels restricted in building the squad he wants. The pressure is already mounting on Celtic to deliver in both domestic and European competition. That challenge will require quality reinforcements, particularly with rival clubs looking to strengthen. If the board fails to match Rodgers' ambitions in the transfer market, McFadden's warning could prove accurate. The current transfer window might not just shape Celtic's squad, it could determine whether Rodgers remains at the helm beyond his current deal. For now, his future remains open-ended, with all eyes on how the club approaches the next month in terms of recruitment and backing for Rodgers. Lastly, James McFadden isn't panicking about Celtic's slow summer in the transfer market, but the former Scotland international has warned the club are approaching dangerous territory if key areas aren't addressed soon. Brendan Rodgers' squad has seen minimal movement in recent weeks, and with the new campaign kicking off this weekend, frustration among supporters continues to build. While the Hoops are expected to push through a loan deal for Manchester City defender Simpson Pusey to bolster their defensive options, the glaring weakness remains on the wings. Celtic have had 3 bids rejected for Jacob Braham, with the most recent offer still well short of Go-Ahead Eagles' £5 million asking price. Crucially, there are no other active winger targets currently being pursued, a concern given the lack of depth on the wings. Speaking on open goal, Sky Sports pundit McFadden insisted he still expects business to be done, but warned against the assumption that big money signings guarantee success. He said this, "They will sign players. I think they'll sign good players. I think that it's a dangerous situation because you spend 8 million, 9 million, 10 million pounds on a player. It doesn't mean they're good. Celtic over the last couple of years, their best player has been Matt O'Reilly and he was signed for 1.5 million. So I get that, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the right player. Kuhn, 2.5 million pounds. So you can get them. With Celtic, as long as you get the player you want, the player that can come in and affect the team, that's what matters," he concluded. Still, with time ticking down and major gaps still evident, McFadden's optimism comes with a warning. Celtic can't afford to drift through another window without addressing critical areas, no matter the price. It's become an all too familiar feeling for Celtic fans. Many thought after the quick start this summer, everything would fall into place, but as we enter August, we find ourselves in a situation where we can't even allow Marco Tilio to leave, as he is needed as cover. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel for more Celtic content.